Hello, everyone. I I like to share recipes, things that my family enjoyed. So I wanted to share this one with you guys. I am making a breakfast casserole. I've made breakfast casserole, a number of times in my life, but this one, I don't know. I guess the amount of each thing was just right, and it just was better to me than any that I've ever made. Nothing real special about it. Pretty standard. But I don't want to assume people, I'm like, oh, everybody knows what breakfast casserole is and how to make it. That may not be true. So I want to share this with you. Someone might not ever have made a breakfast casserole before and they want to try it. So over there in my pan, I am browning 1 pound of pork sausage. I didn't get like a specific type, like a mild or a hot or anything. I just got regular. But if you like things spicy, you could get a hot. If you don't like things spicy, you could go with a mild to make sure it's just not got any spice to it. But I just went with the regular, original one. So I'm just going to brown that up in the pan. And then to the right, you saw I have a glass baking dish. And I sprayed it with some cooking spray. And then I took a can of crescent rolls, just 1 can. This time I did get the jumbo. So I just want to mention that because I don't know if they're just a little thicker, a little bit wider or what, but the consistency of this, like I said, turned out really good. It was just like the right amount of everything. So I did get jumbo this time. So you may want to consider doing that in case that contributed to how well this one came out. So I sprayed that dish and just spread it out in there. So you don't have to break it up into the triangles like you normally would. You just put it down in the sheets and then you kind of push those perforations together. So now I'm just getting the sausage nice and browned, and then what you're going to do is, I don't show this, but I go drain it. I did not rinse it. If you want to have it less greasy, you could rinse it, but I just drained it. And then I spread it over the top of the crescent rolls, which kind of makes like a little crust for you. And I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but this is a recipe from the Taste of Home website. So I will link that below. The only difference is I did use the jumbo or thick or whatever crescent rolls. All right, so then I just spread some cheese, really whatever cheese you like. I think this is Colby Jack here. So I spread that over the sausage, and then I'm cracking 8 eggs into a bowl. I get shells in there like twice. Do you guys do that? Like, I'm just always getting, I don't know. I don't have it down yet. But 8 eggs, and then you just, whisk them up like you would scrambled eggs. And then into that, you're going to add 2 cups of milk. I think it tells you on the recipe 2% or something. I don't know. Whatever milk you want. I mean, I don't think it should matter that much. Yeah, here's the second shell. I think I got it all out. All right, yeah, so just whisking that around. I think I did put a little bit of salt and pepper in it. And then that 2 cups of milk that you see there. Do I put salt and pepper? I think I did. You really don't need salt. That sausage and the cheese, I mean, it's all going to have salt in it. So I did put some though. So yeah, just mix all that up, and then you're going to pour that over top of the cheese. So then you've got the crescent rolls, the sausage, the egg, the cheese, and then the egg, and it just kind of seeps down in to all the cracks and crevices and everything. I'm trying to remember the temperature. I want to say it was like 375, but I'll put that in the description below. All right, and then while that's in the oven, and I'll also put, how long. It'll be in that recipe. However long it said was the perfect amount, I think. So, I'm trying to think. Did I do it a little less than what it said? And it was perfect. I don't know. I'll try to remember that. All right, but now I just did quick grits. If you're from the South, you probably make grits with your kind of breakfasty type food. If you're not from the South, maybe you don't do grits. You could do something else. You could do hash browns, or I know I like cream of wheat too. My husband won't even try it. But you could do cream of wheat. It'd be really good. So I just did the breakfast casserole with the grits. And I did put, and I think I'll show this in a minute, some cheese and some butter in there with it to give it flavor and a little bit of salt. All right, and then while I'm waiting on everything to finish, usually if I'm cooking and I'm like waiting on something to get done and there's a task in the kitchen to do, I just try to go ahead and get it done. So it helps after dinner to, the cleanup after dinner if you've already kind of got things situated. So don't mind my dog licking the side of the dishwasher. That's Tootsie. All right, so I'm gonna just get these clean dishes put away and then get the things that need to go in the dishwasher, put in the dishwasher, while also stirring my grits every now and then. So these are quick grits, like I said. The instructions are on the side. It's really just bringing it to a boil, but you can look at, how much water to how much grits ratio. So it's really just bringing the water to a boil, pouring your grits in and mixing them with the water, and then letting it sit at low, covered. I think it's 5 to 7 minutes, and stirring occasionally. So that's the general instructions, but I'm sure the box won't steer you wrong. Anyway, like I was saying, I want to motivate those who are maybe young mothers and just don't feel like they have a good structure in their house yet, or they don't have a good schedule, or I don't know, they just aren't quite sure how to keep everything moving. It can be a lot and it can be overwhelming, and I just want to say that, whatever progress you're making, be proud of that. Just keep trying to figure out what works for you. But I do just want to mention again, like, if I could have sat down while this was cooking and not done this, not emptied the dishwasher and started to put things back in the dishwasher. I could have sat down and watched TV while I was waiting on dinner to finish cooking, but I took advantage of this time. It's 5 minutes or whatever. Think about it like that, and I often will set myself a timer and say, okay, you got 10 minutes. What can you get done? And I'll have a goal, like, okay, I want to get the kitchen straightened up, and I want to get the living room straightened up, and then I want to, go make my bed or something. Areas that commonly need my attention. So I'll set that timer, and it kind of makes me think, not dawdle and not waste time. I'll kind of just try to move as quickly as I can through each task. And then I'm surprised at the end that, I was able to get that done in 10 minutes, or maybe it took 11, maybe it took 12, whatever. Maybe I went over my time, but I'm surprised because I'm like, if I were doing that without a timer, I might have thought, oh, that took forever, but it really, if you really pay attention to how long things typically take, really, some things you're like, okay, I can rinse out my sink. How long is that going to take? 30 seconds. Like, is it worth the 30 seconds you could spend on it? So, all right, you might have seen me just drop a little bit of butter in there. And then I had this almost empty bag of cheese. And then this other, I put a little bit of that in there too. That might seem like a lot. But once you mix it in, it's really not. So cheese grits are great. My kids all eat them, and my husband and myself. So mixing that up, and those are pretty much done. So once the casserole gets out of the oven, which it's about to, we'll be ready to eat. Look at that. So I do get it out, and I put some cheese on top and just let it melt. And I was just checking to make sure those eggs were cooked. All right. Oh, it was so good. So I just sprinkle some cheese on, and I'm going to let that just sit here. I'm not going to stick it back in the oven because it's done. You can tell, like, it was almost perfectly cooked. Like, it was so good. So again, simple, easy, but everyone loved it. It was great. See y'all next time.